featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
And a great Thursday afternoon to you. Welcome to the program. Coming off some College World Series softball action from Oklahoma City. Of course, it was raining, or it really wasn't raining. It was more just like lightning at the beginning of the day in Oklahoma City. So, of course, I think this might be the first time we've ever carried Women's College World Series softball games on this station. So, was hoping for a smooth start to it. Did not get the smooth start that I wanted because of the rain, the lightning delays. So things did not really get going till around 10:30, pushing the schedule back. That's why we are coming on to you about 38 minutes later than we normally would. But we are here now, and we've got you right up until about 6 o'clock. We will not take Game 3. Obviously, we told you that yesterday from Oklahoma City. But we will have one more additional game for you coming up tonight. That game was scheduled to start at 6:30 our time, 7:30 in, 8:30 in Oklahoma City. But with the schedule being pushed back because of the early delays, that game will probably start a little bit later. But when it does begin, we will have that fourth and final game of the day for you right here. UCLA beat Alabama. UCLA, the 6th seed, beat Alabama in the first game of the day. You just heard the conclusion of game number 2. The defending champion, Oklahoma Sooners. I believe, what are they, 3-time defending champion, Oklahoma Sooners?
Yep.
Knocked off the Duke Blue Devils in game number 2. So Oklahoma and UCLA will play in one of the winners bracket games on Saturday. That's the, I guess you can call it bracket A. And then bracket B, which will be game 3, which is about to get started shortly underway in Oklahoma City, Texas, and Stanford. And then the other game we'll have for you coming up a little bit later will be Oklahoma State, the team that knocked off the Arizona Wildcats. Oklahoma State will take on the Florida Gators. The winners of those games will go on to a winners bracket game, which will be on Saturday. The losers of all of today's games will come back and play tomorrow in there'll only be 2 evening games tomorrow. We will not carry either one of those games as a result, obviously, of things that are happening with Arizona baseball tomorrow night. There's a regional happening, in case you were not aware. And the Wildcats are going to be taking on the Grand Canyon Antelopes for the 4th time this year. Lopes won 2. Arizona won 1. Lopes won the last one in pretty big fashion. In fact, let's talk a little Arizona Grand Canyon baseball right now with a man who is familiar with both sides of this game. He is the current pitching coach of the Grand Canyon Antelopes, but he pitched collegiately here at the University of Arizona between 2013 and 2016. He was one of the primary starters on the 2016 Jay Johnson team that went to the College World Series Finals, losing in a 3-game series thriller to Coastal Carolina. Nathan Bannister joins us on the show. Nathan, welcome. I won't say this is weird for you because you've done it a number of times already this season, trying to scheme against your alma mater, but it's at a different level coming up tomorrow night in the NCAA tournament.
No doubt. Thanks for having me on, first off, and driving down to Tucson today felt a little bit different, playing some postseason baseball.
So let's go back to just your career here. Obviously, you came in that year after the Wildcats won the national championship. You played for 2 different coaches here, Andy Lopez, and then your final year for Jay Johnson. What was special about your experience here as a student athlete?
I think the entire experience was one of a kind, to be honest. That coming in, Obviously, they just won the national championship, and that's the cream of the crop, right? That's what program is supposed to do. And, just learning early on in my freshman year and sophomore year, just, what it takes to win at a high level. I think, like I said, freshman and sophomore year, learned a lot, and taking that into my experience in junior and senior year, you really just want to get back to the program and, really get back to where it was in 2012. And I think that's what fueled our run in 2016.
Obviously there's some young men on this team that went through the coaching chains when Jay left to go to LSU and Chip came in. You went through a similar situation when Andy retired and then Jay came in. What was that process like for you as a player to get ingrained into the new culture that Jay Johnson was trying to set up that first year?
Yeah, I would say from my viewpoint, it was going into my senior year. So we just were fresh up missing 3 regionals in a row, and just the program direction, going under Jay, I felt really at ease of, we haven't done anything the last 3 years. Let's put all of our chips and trust the new coach coming in, and Jay, made it work that year, right? We gelled as a team, really. It was kind of a team of misfits at that time. I think, my junior year, we obviously had Kevin Newman and Scott Kingery up the middle. But my senior year, it was a brand new team, and we kind of just pieced it together all the way through and got hot at the right time.
So you get to the postseason in 2016, and you guys have obviously that tremendous run. What did you learn about that postseason experience that you can parlay to the young men that you are coaching right now?
I think, using that experience, I think it's, only 64 teams make a regional, right? That's no secret there. And there's a lot of good baseball teams that don't get to play in a regional this year, right? And so I think what the message we can take away is, have a blast during this time, right? It's postseason baseball. There's no need to try something new. There's no need to make a hero play, right? You just want to go out and play good baseball and play with pride and play with freedom.
We're chatting with Nathan Bannister, the pitching coach for the Grand Canyon Antelopes Arizona baseball class of 2016. Does it seem like it's been 8 years ago? It just seems like it was yesterday.
It has flown by, no doubt. I remember coming back last year for the first time, and honestly, it felt like 2 years. But it's been 8, and there's a lot of players that have come through the program since then, and glad it's on the way up, and glad to have a chance to compete against them.
How long did it take for you to get over that disappointment of you guys were up 1-0 in that series with Coastal Carolina, and then the 2-1 run losses and not being able to finish that?
I would be lying if I told you I'm not over it. Obviously you think about the times we had and just pretty much one hit away, right? Having runners on second and third, down by 1, and just the whole situation of that championship series, we're right there. It's really close, and that team, we fought all year. We were in some tough battles. We were on the road. It felt like the last month. So we were as tight-knit as it can be, and we just fell one hit short. But, those are the opportunities. In the moment, you don't really understand where you're at, but when you take some time to reflect on it, it can kind of eat at you a little bit, but, I'm still proud of what that team accomplished, and still talk to a lot of my teammates, and, that's what I'll cherish from that team.
Drafted by the Seattle Mariners in the 28th round of that 2016 draft. What did you take away from your pro career? What did you enjoy most about being a professional baseball player? The hardships, the highs and lows of that?
I enjoyed trying to be the best of the best. I think, in the pro game, the skill level is obviously elite, but once you start talking about the top 500 players in the game, the skill level is not the difference maker, right? It's the guy that shows up with their skill each and every day. And so I learned a lot about, bringing your best stuff Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so forth. Doesn't matter if you're on a bus ride. Doesn't matter if you just traveled across country. You got to bring your best stuff every day.
Now, you actually started your coaching career in professional ball. What made you make the decision to step away from pro ball and maybe come back into a college situation?
Yeah, pro ball was really good for me. I learned a lot under the Seattle Mariners, and just, when the opportunity presented itself to come to GCU, that's where I'm from. I'm from Phoenix. I'm was getting married at the time, so it was, kind of a life decision at the time. But, the things I learned from the Seattle Mariners, I take a lot and bring that to what we're trying to do at Grand Canyon. And so I'm very thankful for the opportunity in the Seattle organization, and I'm excited what we can do at Grand Canyon.
Nathan Bannister, pitching coach at Grand Canyon, Arizona baseball class of 2016, is our guest. Went to the World Series finals with the Wildcats. So how would you describe your philosophy now, Nathan, as a pitching coach?
I would say my philosophy and our philosophy at Grand Canyon is, we want to get to two strikes as fast as possible. I think just the numbers and our results when we get to two strikes are very good. So we want to tell our guys to be in attack mode and get to, get that first pitch strike, get to two strikes before two balls. And, when we feel like we can get to two strikes, we feel like we can put hitters away. And the more times we're going to do that, the more times we're going to put up good innings and, quick, efficient innings that, build off of one another.
You've got some pretty nice left-handed pitchers that we've seen this season kind of make life difficult for the Arizona Wildcats. What's kind of been cool about those guys and what they've been able to do?
Yeah, in our games against the Wildcats, we've pieced it together on a midweek, and, we really haven't had a midweek starter throughout the year, and it's been, kind of showing one guy through the lineup and then turning the ball over to the next. So I think it's been, in our games against the Wildcats, we've been able to piece it together, and the guys have been ready and have executed the pitches, and hoping to do the same tomorrow.
You mentioned coming home, obviously making a life decision to step back into college baseball. What are your aspirations on this end? Do you want to lead your own program at some point? Is that a goal?
You know what? That's I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. Just turned 30 this past year, and so I'm taking it pretty much year by year. I love where I'm at. I love doing the pitching and kind of seeing what we can develop here at Grand Canyon. And I think for now, I don't want to think too far down the road, and I just want to stay boots on the ground and just keep working and see where it takes me.
When you step into that dugout at High Corbett Field and you look out onto that field, is there one or two memories that immediately come back to you?
Yeah, I would say that the one that stands out is we had a walk-off win against UCLA, and I felt like that win in 2016 really jump-started our run. I felt like it was middle of the conference type of time in the year, if that makes sense, just where it was lined up. And we won that series, and then we started to play really good baseball. And I just, that walk-off win, I feel like jump-started our run.
Well, you heard about what this year's team did against UCLA, right? Three walk-off wins.
Yeah, I know this team is they fight to the end, no doubt. I don't know the exact number, but it feels like they get a walk-off every weekend. So, they're going to make you get 27 outs.
Yeah, how does this Wildcats offense make your job difficult?
Yeah, I feel like they have a lot of guys that can put the ball in the gap, right? When you're talking about offensive threats that can put up extra bases, it's going to be harder to pitch to because, they only need one or two good at-bats in a row, right? Versus if they go single, they're going to need more at bats to do that. So I think just the threat of the extra base, and then some of the guys have the speed threat on the bases that can steal a bag and take a 90 feet. That comes into play in postseason baseball. So, we're looking forward to the matchup and looking forward to compete against this lineup.
And you mentioned earlier your shortstop, Kevin Newman. Good to see him back out here in Arizona competing and getting big hits for the Arizona Diamondbacks. No doubt. I'm happy he's here, and it's kind of, I feel like with him and Kevin Ginkel, they didn't play together, but they're both Wildcat alums. So just I got to play with both of them at U of A, and kind of seeing them play together in the big leagues now is quite the sight. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about what Ginkel did last year, I mean, we kind of followed it. He got sent down in May and just came back after that and was absolutely nails. What did you love about the way he kind of handled that situation? Because he had been a guy, towards the end of the prior season that it looked like might be a consistent arm in the bullpen. But sometimes you have to go down, and you obviously as a professional probably experienced some of that to get some things right. But the way he came back and had those fabulous last 4 months was just unbelievable. Yeah, I think the word that comes to mind is resiliency, right? The maturity to go down and actually take what the game is giving him, and knowing what to work on and actually getting to work on those things, right? And so obviously he went down and held his head high and got better at what he needed to get better at, and he put in the work, right? He didn't just show up in the postseason rising to the occasion. He obviously put in the work throughout the year to get back to where he needed to be, and it was just fun watching him execute pitches and all of postseason. Well, Nathan, hey, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Continued success. We love watching our old Wildcats do great things in this game of baseball, and we're looking forward to a nice battle on Friday between the Wildcats and the Lopes for fourth time this season. No doubt. Thanks for having me, and hope to chat soon. There you go. Nathan Bannister, Arizona baseball class of 2016, went to the World Series finals that year, the dramatic 3-game series against the Coastal Carolina. I believe it was the Chanticleers was their name. And unfortunately, the Wildcats, after winning game 1, a couple of one-run losses, and like he said, just one hit away. I remember late in that game, runners on second and third, ball went down the line and just went foul. I mean, if that ball stays fair, we might have been talking about 2 national championships in this century for the Arizona Wildcats. But that's baseball, and that's how the ball bounces sometimes. And Coastal Carolina came out on top to win their first ever national championship. Great to talk to Nathan and catch up. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We've got much more coming up for you. 2 more hours with us. Jensen Lewis is going to join us. Jensen will be on the call for ESPN for this regional series. Jensen, a friend back from the Cleveland area. He's a part of the Cleveland Guardians broadcast team on their pre- and post-game shows. Works with my groomsman, Al Pulowski. So looking forward to talking with Jensen. Have had a chance to break bread with Jensen a number of times on my trips home. And we'll I believe this is the first time he's working in NCAA regionals, so we'll get his thoughts on all of the teams here, as well as we'll be joined by Devontae Sapp Lynch from the Tucson Sugar Skulls. And if that name Lynch sounds familiar, he comes from some pretty impressive Super Bowl champion bloodlines, and he's carrying the ball here in Tucson for your Sugar Skulls. We'll talk to Devontae Sapp Lynch today as well. DK on the Sports Tip. J-Dub is here. Cricket is here. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Valencia and Mark Road, a hit-and-run wreck reported. Crashes at a reported Swan to the north of Fort Lowell had some earlier slowing at the intersection. Park Avenue at I-10 and also Broadway and Country Club. A 68, clear skies, the low, 102, sunny tomorrow, and 99 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell is introducing the new Cantina Chicken Menu with a new Cantina Chicken Burrito, Quesadilla, Bowl, and Tacos, featuring their new slow-roasted chicken. Try the new Cantina Chicken Menu today at a participating U.S. Taco Bell location while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Are you ready? Ready to discover your soul, your wild side, your passion, your joy, and excitement. From world-class entertainment to award-winning dining to a luxurious resort. Discover all this and more. Discover with Soul at Casino del Sol, the soul of Tucson.
The official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Enterprise of the Pasquayaqui Tribe.
We return now to Eugene Snarkle, UberTube video star, and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, what happened to just buying a new set of tires at Jack Furrier's?
Way too easy, Doug.
Yes, Eugene. Jack Furrier's makes buying tires easy. So what's up with all the rubber cement and electrical tape? And why are you putting it all over your tires?
It's basic science, Doug. This Uber hack should give me another 6 months on these old treads and make me locally world famous on UberTubes.
So you'll be risking your life and your reputation.
Yes, Doug. It's all for my UberTube fads.
Well, could you at least wait a week before you try driving up Mount Lemon?
At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we make buying tires easy. Our local warehouse is filled with thousands of great options, all at one low price. If you need tires for your passenger car, truck, SUV, van, 4x4, RV, boat, or UTV, call us or go online to jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
With Verizon, now everyone can get our best phone deals.
Even if I'm new?
Even if you're new.
What if I've been with Verizon forever?
Oh, yeah. You see, new and existing customers get the amazing iPhone 15 with tons of storage on us. With any iPhone trade-in, any model, any condition. Guaranteed with unlimited ultimate.
Here's one. What if?
That's a yes. There's a deal out there for everyone. Only at Verizon. $829.99, 128GB only device payment or full retail purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line on unlimited ultimate plan. Minimum $90 a month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Less $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in terms apply.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
It takes 3 seconds to view a text and for a child to step into the road. Please don't text and drive. It can save a life. This message is courtesy of Andy's American Glass, veteran-owned and operated, serving the Tucson area for over 3 years. Let 40 years of experience go to work for you. They're always working hard to keep our community safe. Call 520-979-3258. That's 520-979-3258. That's Andy's American Glass. Wishing all the best.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Thursday, the eve of the NCAA baseball tournament. Your Arizona Wildcats, champions of the Pac-12, undisputed champions of the Pac-12, hosting regionals for the first time since 2021. And they will take on the Grand Canyon Antelopes tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. We'll have coverage all weekend long of Arizona baseball right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. The first game of the day will start at noon. That'll be between Dallas Baptist and West Virginia. There are some people who believe that Dallas Baptist might just win this thing, might just win this very tough regional. I had said right away, I was like, this is not going to be an easy, a cakewalk regional for the Arizona Wildcats. And some people are calling this the regional of death because of how difficult this one will be and how good all 4 of these teams are. Grand Canyon, Dallas Baptist, West Virginia, and the University of Arizona. So it's going to be a fun weekend,
What you're
weekend for sure.
saying is anybody who goes out to the ballpark is going to see some fine baseball this weekend.
Oh, yes. Get your tickets now. I even heard KJ Lewis was looking for tickets to the games.
Somebody get that man
this
some
weekend.
tickets.
Somebody get KJ Lewis hooked up so he can be in the house cheering on his Arizona Wildcats. Looking forward to this weekend. Exciting baseball. We don't get these opportunities too often. You'll remember we were talking to Nathan Bannister in 2016. They had to go on the road to Lafayette. Louisiana Lafayette was the host of that regional. Arizona went on the road, won the first game against Sam Houston State, then lost to Louisiana Lafayette. So they had to come back through the elimination bracket, had to beat Sam Houston State again, then had to beat Louisiana Lafayette twice, did so to get to the Super Regionals, then had to go on the road to SEC country, you'll remember. Mississippi State, no easy place to win. Got a pair of 1-run victories there. 1-0 in the game 1, 6-5 in game 2 to get to Omaha. And then Omaha was actually a little bit easier, even though they lost their second game there to Oklahoma State. But most of their wins there were fairly easy victories. Beat Miami 5-1, beat UC Santa Barbara 3-0, beat Oklahoma State 9-3 and 5-1 to get to the finals, and then shut out Coastal Carolina 3-0 before falling in those game 2, game 3.
If you
5-4 and 6-5.
If you think the softball games this morning took a little bit of time to get going,
yeah,
I was here. That was the first season I did. I
2016
produced baseball. Yeah, 2016 with Brian, and that West Lafayette regional. The full story, DK, is the first game was like a 10-hour delay for Lightning. The second day was the same thing. If you look at it, they actually had to play those 2 Sunday games.
Yeah.
When you come out of the loser's bracket, you got to win twice. They didn't play them on Sunday. They played them on Monday because that whole series got shifted. So we were in a rain delay for basically, 48 consecutive hours, more or less, for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Fun times.
Yep. Again, and that's it's happened the last 2 years for this Arizona baseball team. They were, they got rained on in where were they, at Miami 2 years ago? Chip Hill's first season, multiple delays there. Pushed that thing all the way back to Monday. Wildcats got to the regional final, and then they got rained on last year at Arkansas. That was not as successful of a situation as the Wildcats lost both of their games there. My baseline, I have my baselines. My baselines for success. I told you last week, my baseline for success for the softball team is Super Regionals. You at least got to get to the Super Regionals for it to be a successful season. Just like my baseline for Arizona men's basketball is Sweet 16. You got to at least get to the Sweet 16 for it to be a successful season. My baseline for baseball is regional final. You at least have to get to the regional final for it to be a successful season. They're still on that bottom, a little bit of a lower rung there. I'm not yet ready to call Arizona baseball a super regional program. You got to consistently get to the super regionals before you can be a super regional program. And again, this is a program that's kind of been upsy-downsy a lot over the course of this century. They have really good years, and then they have some not-so-good years, as you heard Nathan Bannister talk about. He came in the year after they won the national championship in 2012, and then they didn't go to the postseason for 3 straight years. His first 3 years, they didn't sniff the postseason, 13, 14, or 15. Andy Lopes retired. Jay Johnson comes in. That first season, again, it was almost like that 4-year itch. 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016. That's why we were so looking forward to 2020. We were thinking, okay, this is our year again. That's how it works here in Arizona. Every 4 years, we get a really good team. And then, of course, what happened? 2020 gets bombed out. But then 2021, the following year, you have another World Series team. So it kind of stayed in that mode in terms of teams, every 4-year team. But even though that last time was a 5th year. But finally, you've got a little bit of consistency, at least in making the postseason, with Chip Hale being the first coach since his coach, Jerry Kendall, to reach the postseason of NCAA baseball in his first 3 seasons.
Might have missed a pun opportunity there because bombed out for 2020. What about batted out? Because that whole year was wiped off the books, reportedly due to bats baseball, that whole thing. Yeah, I mean, I think it's coaching too, right? I mean, you look at the school up north, had so much success in the 70s and 80s, they really couldn't replicate that after Kush left, right? So, I mean, if you have those long tenured coaches, that recruiting cycle where you get the older upperclassmen teaching the younger guys what's up, this is what the program's all about, this is what we're all about. How long does it take, DK, when you get a new person in that position, the recruiting cycles and everything else? Again, certain programs just kind of keep on humming, but I think of the great programs in college baseball history as the programs that had the same coach for 30 years, right? That consistency.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's consistency is really what you look for. You want consistency. And that's how you begin to build, I think, programs that don't dip like what we've seen from Arizona baseball at times throughout this century. And hopefully in Chip Hale, we are beginning to see that. Again, first 3 years, I'd like to see it continue. Obviously, now that he's beginning to get more of his kids in, cycle out of Jay Johnson's kids, getting more of his kids in here, can you continue to put competitive teams on the board? And now you're heading into a new conference, and lo and behold, Oklahoma State, just like with the softball team, you're going to be staring down Oklahoma State, who won the Big 12 baseball championship this year.
I can't imagine how tough it is to take over a program in 2021.
Yeah, not easy at all.
That whole mess of web of how you contact recruits and how do you do any kind of evaluations and all of that during that era. I know that one of the more recent interviews they had with Skip was like last week, was he was super excited, talked over the top about how excited he is about this next 2 classes that they've got coming up. So that's how you talk about consistency, DK. You build upon your successes. And that's what seems to be happening right now.
Speaking of great classes, Arizona men's tennis, the hottest program on campus right now. Their incoming recruiting class, number 5 in the country. So there you go. I mean, you've got Clancy Shields, who has built it They've consistently now, they've gotten to two straight Sweet 16s, 3 in the last 4 years. They're starting to now. You can when you start to do that. Now that their expectation was really low. Just get there, get to the NCAA tournament. Now, when you go to 3 Sweet 16s in 4 years, we can maybe start raising that expectation to believe, okay, yeah, maybe they're getting closer. If they get to another Sweet 16 next year, then they become a Sweet 16 program. And that's the expectation that you have for them every single year.
And when you're watching that team on TV and you see the entire Arizona softball team out supporting them in Stillwater, Oklahoma, that has to, the amount of fan support these last couple of years.
Yeah. Supporting one guy.
Yeah.
Colton Smith out there. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on our program here. We are joined by the third member. Her name is Cricket. So, Cricket.
Gentlemen.
J-Dub.
Yes.
Did you guys have the graduation song here in Tucson back growing up? Best of the Class. Do you guys remember Best of the Class?
I don't think I've heard that.
No. Do you remember Best of the Class, J-Dub?
I'm not sure.
Hit the music, J-Dub.
Oh. A yearbook full of memories, a time to share with friends, a hug that says we'll keep in touch.
Since it is graduation
friendship
time.
Never ends. A day to thank all those who helped you through the tough times, took you through the rough times.
Is this not corny right here?
Oh, yeah.
The autographs, the cap and gown, the honors that you've earned, the future that looks bright because of everything you learned, a smile that says you've made it all the way, and graduation day is here. You're the best of the class this year.
You're the best of the class this year. So this song, apparently you guys didn't have it here.
Well, I definitely have heard that song, but I don't think I heard it in a live setting, like at a graduation.
So we had it. Well, no, it was actually back east. They would make these commercials,
right? That's
where they would have all the valedictorians from all the high schools. They would bring them together, and they would do commercials, and these commercials would run all throughout the graduation season, celebrating the valedictorians, and they would play this song as a part of those commercials. And it got me back to thinking about every time we get to this time of year, I always think it just pops into my head. You're the best of the class this year. And because we used to always be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool like if you could be that smart to be in one of those commercials, but then you were never really that smart to be in the commercial.
I think they're actors.
You just wanted to see like somebody from your school. It's like, oh, there's our valedictorian.
The question is, did you ever know anybody from those commercials? Did anybody ever know?
Well, I knew my valedictorian. We had 2 sisters that were our valedictorians. They were extremely smart young ladies.
Awesome.
The Heil sisters. But yeah, best of the class this year. We call it the graduation song. It was. I'm surprised they didn't have it here in Tucson because apparently it was put together by the Scripps station in Detroit, and we have a Scripps station. K-Gun is a Scripps station here in Tucson, but you guys apparently did not have. You're the best of the class this year, and then at the end they would all throw their hats up into the air. That was kind of the common.
I do remember that. Yeah, the scene with the hats.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, you guys missed out. See,
I don't know that.
She's like,
I don't know that.
like, I don't know that one.
Let's see. When I graduated, like 8th grade was Master of Puppets had just come out, so like that's what the boom boxes had, Master of Puppets going down, and then high school would have been.
Do you remember
the first Nirvana album? Maybe.
Oh, wow.
That was my graduated high school year.
Do you remember your valedictorian?
Yes.
Cricket?
I grew up with him.
Yeah?
Shannon Clark.
So where is... so now the other thing is, like, you always wonder, like... I went back, of course, I fell down the YouTube hole last night trying to, like, see if I could come up and find, like... So there was some out of Philadelphia and New York, and I found a few out of Cleveland because they had it there, too, as well. Just, like, so you wonder, like, so where are those kids now? Did they ever become... become famous, or did they ever like grow up to be really great? So where is Shannon Clark now?
I don't know, but I want to look him up and see where he is.
Yes.
I know where our high school's president is.
Okay.
She's still in town. She's a nurse now, and she's still married to the boy she dated in
high
junior
school.
high.
Oh,
yeah.
junior high.
Yeah, so they've been together their whole lives, and I think they've got at least 2 kids.
Okay.
At
So what
least.
about your valedictorian, J-Dub? You know, did that person go on to be great?
I just assume everybody went to school with this, leading a company or something, or a doctor, lawyer type of thing. I do remember, like, one of my best friends in high school, because, again, my story is 10 schools in 12 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't have friend groups that were connected. Wasn't really super close. But one guy that was a grade under me, he was a MIT Raytheon kind of guy. So,
Nice.
that was the kind of people that I went to school with generally.
Hmm.
But I don't have a specific story of the valedictorian.
Maybe we'll have to get a few of the valedictorians on our show, and then we can play that song all throughout the summer.
I think somebody born in 2006, would it be? So someone born in 2006 who's graduating right now in the valedictorian.
The funny thing about and the reason this whole came up is like I was wondering, are they still playing that? Do they still do that? And they actually, I think it was a station in Wisconsin, might have been Madison or Green Bay or one of those cities. They actually still do this in 2024. I'm thinking, are they still playing that corny, as Nancy Kerrigan would have said? That's so corny.
I don't know about the
that
song,
corny
but I do know
song in 2024.
the like senior photos with the really washed out borders. Are you familiar? That like people used to hang up in like
Kind of like a glamour shot,
exactly.
sort of.
Yeah, from like the senior year.
Uh-huh.
That was always a tradition.
Oh, no, she went down the glamour shot, so that'll be a question for another day.
Next time.
Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Signals malfunctioning, Rita Road at I-10. Alvernon and Broadway Boulevard, a stalled vehicle. Collisions that are reported, a hit and run at Valencia and Mark Road, and also a crash on Swan to the north of Fort Lowell. 68 the low, 102 and sunny tomorrow, and 99 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Discover. As humans, we like having options. One option you might like is speaking with a real person when you call about your credit card. With 24/7 live US-based customer service from Discover, everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Fun for the crew, fun for the family, fun for everyone. Dave & Buster's is the place to be for all things fun. With hundreds of awesome games, massive screens showing every single game, and their incredible menu of top-notch food and drinks. There's no better place to eat, drink, play, and watch than Dave & Buster's. Make Wednesday the highlight of your week at Dave & Buster's by experiencing half-price games on Wednesdays. That's right, every arcade game half-price. Dave & Buster's at Tucson Marketplace, your Wednesday game day viewing spot. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Here's a sample of what people say when they find out they can save up to 40% on their favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn.
Wow, that's fabulous.
That's just great.
Woo-hoo. All right, yeah. That's incredible.
That's crazy.
Actually, it's not crazy, it's smart. Why would you buy tobacco products somewhere other than Tobacco Barn and pay up to 40% more? You can save up to 40% at Tobacco Barn. It'd be crazy not to. You also pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn because they're on the reservation. And you can save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Could you repeat that, sir?
At Tobacco Barn, save up to 40%. Pay no city sales tax. Pay no state sales tax. And save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. If you shop somewhere else, people might say you don't know whether to scratch your watch or wind your butt.
Funny guy.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Elevate your outdoor living space this year using stone. Tanzite has developed stone decking, crafted without any plastic composite materials to redefine durability. Visit Tanzite.com to see how stone decking doesn't scratch. stays cooler, isn't slippery, and has all the durability you would expect from stone, which is why it's guaranteed for life. At Tanzite.com, you will see how we developed stone to easily transform any ordinary wood deck. You can even make your deck waterproof for a dry space below. Versatile and adaptable, Tanzite is perfect for decks, stairs, over concrete, or ground applications. Visit Tanzite.com to start planning your project with a free 3D design and construction plan tailored to your space. Order a sample today to witness the incredible beauty and durability firsthand at Tanzite.com. That's TANZITE.com.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza! Jigsaw!
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We're going to chat with Jensen Lewis in the 5 o'clock hour. He's going to be on the color analyst in the color analyst chair for ESPN this weekend for the televised games involving the Tucson Regionals. So looking forward to talking some baseball with him as well. We want to talk baseball with you too. Your thoughts? Do you got your tickets for this weekend? Are you headed to the regional? And are you going to be going to all of the games? It's going to be hot, obviously. It's going to be in the 100s for the day games, which is why we prefer the Wildcats to try to avoid the day games, because the nights have actually been really, really great this week. I was actually sitting out on the balcony a couple of nights ago at dark. I mean, and it was absolutely beautiful out there. So hopefully we get 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock tomorrow, 7 o'clock on Saturday, and then 6 o'clock for a regional final on a Sunday, and then we can completely avoid having to do any baseball on Monday. That would be a great thing for sure. All right. Obviously, a lot going on in the world of sports. I've said from the get-go of this show, we don't ignore big news stories when big news stories are happening, because we are first and foremost a talk show, sports predominantly, but a talk show as well. Huge news, obvious today coming out of New York. A New York jury found former President Donald Trump guilty of all 34 felony charges of falsifying business records related to a hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels. This by his then personal lawyer before the 2016 election. Donald Trump is the first former United States president to be found guilty of any crime. He is scheduled to be sentenced on July the 11th. Trump, who is the presumptive Republican presidential nominee, faces a maximum possible sentence of 4 years in prison for each charge. And there were 34 charges. So if my U-High math is correct, that would be 136 years in prison for falsifying business records related to the hush money payments to porn star Stormy Daniels. That happening today in New York City. Again, our phones are always open to you to talk about anything, okay? Sports, news, music, pop culture, whatever. So if you have anything you want to say about that, get anything off your chest about that, 520-848-1290 is the number, excuse me, to do so.
Let me make sure the dump button's working first.
Exactly. And the dump button. and the delay and all of that other good stuff that we have over there too. We got to get some funky music like they have on the Jim Rome show. Jim Rome is streaming now. Like we've been on Facebook, we've been on Twitter since we started our show, and we beat Jim Rome to Twitter. How about that? Have you seen his show though this week?
No, I have not. How's the production value?
It's nice. I mean, it's got a nice studio. We will have a nice studio at some point. We're gonna jazz it up. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary here in a few weeks. We got some great, exciting things I think coming up for year 2. We will be making an announcement. Probably, I don't know when we'll make it, but we'll make it. Probably in the next 3 weeks. We've got a programming announcement that we'll be making, so something exciting that will be happening as we move into year 2 of this program and my leadership here. So looking forward to that, and really trying to continue to make this a better operation here for all of you out there in Wildcat land. So some fun stuff coming up here, some cool stuff coming up here as we worked on the website. That was one of the first things that we wanted to get done. We worked on the app. We finally got that. Our app was crap when I first got here, but now our app slaps, and so we've got that going. And so we will continue to kind of lay the building blocks here at 1290. But as always, as I've said, this is an open forum for conversation. Sports, news, pop culture, music. We've talked all of those things on this show, and we will continue to talk all of those things as long as I am sitting in this chair. All right, the Wildcats held it was media day today over at High Corbett Field for the NCAA baseball tournament. We had a chance to hear. Actually, we're going to hear now from Cam Walty. Cam Walty will get the ball on Saturday night in the winner's bracket. Well, hopefully, I don't want to go too far. We hope it's in the winner's bracket game on Saturday night. We don't want it to be Saturday afternoon, but whatever game 2 is, Cam Walty will get the ball. He has pitched the Wildcats, helped pitch them to 2 championships in the last 2 Saturdays, the win over Oregon State and then the victory over USC in Scottsdale. Cam Walty spoke, and Cam talked a little bit about what he learned last year from pitching in the NCAA tournament regional round.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year it was a very big environment and a very good learning experience. I mean, it was my second regional. I just got to experience when my freshman year I didn't get to play, and just having that ability to get those reps in at Arkansas was very, I guess, it was like I said, it was a learning experience for me, and just having the ability to have this one at home is going to be a very big deal, and it's going to be very cool to be able to pitch in front of the fans.
Cam, what do you remember about the first time that you pitched in this ballpark?
That would have been my sophomore year. I think at the time, it was coming here. It was like we knew they were obviously really good that season, and I think it was a cool experience. Really, I think I hadn't really experienced pitching in a park this big at the time, and so just to kind of have that environment in its own, whether it was packed or not, it was just kind of a cool experience, and yeah, I'm grateful for it.
What went into your decision to transfer, and how has it worked out for you?
Well, our coach had made a decision to go somewhere else, so that opened the opportunity for me, and I had looked at coming here out of high school, and so it was kind of a no-brainer with the staff they had now. And I mean, it's been amazing. I think the staff we've done really well, and the coaching staff has put a big, I guess, emphasis on just the morals and whatnot of this team, and so we've had a really good year so far, and it's all for the staff.
So you've pitched deeper into games this season than you did last season. Just kind of how have you handled that extra load this season?
I mean, I don't think anything really changes. I think the amount of pitches that we throw are still the same. It's just the amount of time that we throw in the game. Just kind of, I think the main thing for me is just being able to still be effective. And that's what's allowed me to go into the games deeper, is just trusting my stuff and having the ability to prolong it pretty much into the games and allow me to go longer.
And I just wanted to ask you how you reflect upon the fans here at High Corbett. how much of an advantage does it give you to host the regional here?
Oh, it's a huge advantage. I mean, there's a big advantage swing and just like a momentum swing is with them because they're always behind us. And so it's they're very loyal. And so having that behind us and just having any ups or downs and they're still behind us and cheering is just a big advantage.
Cam, how would you describe how your role has evolved this season?
I think it's pretty much just being able to adapt in a way. Obviously, we started in the bullpen and we had kind of like almost a question mark role where it's like we didn't know if we were going to be like long or if we were going to come in for 3 innings or whatever it was. But I knew that no matter what it was, I was going to be ready and we had prepared for that. And so when I got thrown into the starting role, I had obviously been there before. And so just kind of trusting what I've already done and my ability. And so that was the easiest way for me to adapt to that.
Did it cross your mind at any point that you would come in for Tonko in that San Diego game, kind of help the team out, and then you handed the ball to him in both the Oregon State and USC games, maybe kind of the symmetry there?
I think it just shows kind of what I just said, the adaptability. I think we're both able to fit those same roles. And so with him being able to start at first and me coming after him, it kind of just swapped the roles, and it turned out very well for us.
And one more question for you about that last game. Usually the lineup, when they see the pitcher second and third time, like they get better. That game was kind of the reverse of that. They were hitting you fairly hard early. What adjustments did you make in the course of that game, and how did you kind of keep them at bay to the eighth?
Me and Vance we go over it a lot in the dugout in between our half when we're hitting. And so we were having a lot of conversation about just how we felt, if we had certain strengths that we felt where we were pitches we were throwing better, and just kind of because we had obviously our original plan, but sometimes it just depends on pitchability and our ability to execute that kind of skews that. And so just our ability to kind of make adjustments, whether people were off the plate or on the plate, things like that, pitching to where they are and our strengths was our best way to go about that lineup a second time and the third time.
All right, that is Cam Welty of your Arizona Wildcats. A lot of people might not remember that, again, Cam talking about coming over here from Nevada, and we had him on the show a few weeks ago, and he talked about kind of his baseball life and the decision to transfer over here to Arizona. But what a lot of people maybe don't remember is he pitched 2 years ago when Nevada came here. They came here for a 4-game series. And he pitched in the game 3 of that 4-game series. The Wildcats took 3 out of 4 from the Nevada Wolfpack. The one game they lost was the game that Cam Welty pitched. And not only did Cam Welty pitch Nevada to a win in that game at High Corbett Field, as you heard him, somebody, I believe it was Michael Lev, asked him what he remembered about the first time he pitched in High Corbett Field, and it was this particular game for Nevada. He pitched a 3-hit shutout that day for the Nevada Wolfpack. And I mean, carved up a pretty good Arizona Wildcats lineup. Only 3 hits that day, one by Nick McClary, one by Tanner Otremba, and one by Chase Davis. Didn't really, not overpowering, only struck out 5 guys, but still a 3-hit complete game shutout. Got his buddy Garen Caulfield out 3 times, got his buddy Tommy Splain out 4 times that day, including a strikeout. So, yeah, absolutely. When Cam Welty went into the transfer portal, that was a guy that this Arizona coaching staff had seen firsthand, outpitched Garrett Irvin, because Garrett Irvin pitched pretty well that ball game as well. If you remember Garrett Irvin from the 2021 or 2022 postseason as well. So Cam Welty, a lot of memories of his first time pitching at High Corbett Field when he pretty much held down a really, really good Arizona lineup. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll have much more coming up for you. We're going to talk some Tucson Sugar Skulls football as the fellows are back at home this Saturday night at the Boneyard for a game against their former coach in Duke City. Cricket right now, though, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported Ruthruff and LaChoya and Ruthruff. Also a crash that occurred on Swan to the north of Fort Lowell. Some slowing in that area. Rita Road at I-10, traffic signals malfunctioning. 68 the low overnight, 102 sunny tomorrow, and a 99 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming with member-only offers. Learn more about their new loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Subject to terms and conditions. See lowes.com/terms for details.
Free tickets to a U of A baseball game? That's what Clipper Automotive is giving you a chance to win. Clipper Automotive is now a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and would like to give you the opportunity to win a pair of tickets to a University of Arizona baseball game this season. All you need to do is stop by the shop on Thorndale Road and put your information in the Enter to Win box. That's right, stop by to enter at Clipper Automotive. No purchase necessary. Clipper Automotive provides honest, reasonable, and stress-free automotive repair services and looks forward to servicing your vehicle.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
I don't have to tell you it's hot. Hi, this is Ron from Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Make sure your home is cool and comfortable all summer long. Routine maintenance can often prevent major breakdowns. Call us before the first sign of trouble. Call today, 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You go into your shower feeling... But as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day. And smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Experiencing the Sonoran Desert's natural wonders comes easy at Rock & Kay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rock & Kay. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockandK.com. Designed by nature, built for you. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor. answer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Football is back in Tucson this weekend at the Bone Yard. The Tucson Sugar Skulls will be home, and they're going to be taking on their former coach, Curtis Chin, Curtis Chin, who is now at the forefront of the club over in Duke City. Fellas coming off another tight, tough loss, this one to Northern Arizona over the weekend. Let's talk some Tucson Sugar Skulls football. Please be joined by running back Devontae Sapp Lynch. And if that last name sounds familiar, that's because Devontae is the younger brother of one Super Bowl champion Marshawn Lynch. Devontae, not real difficult shoes to step into and have to live up to there, is it?
Nah, not really. You know, me and my brother are pretty close, so it's a shoe size I'm able to fit.
There you go. So now this is your first year in Tucson, and if I'm mistaken, you weren't here at the beginning of the year. Is that correct? You kind of came on. Did you start the season somewhere else? What's your story so far this year?
Well, I came in late this season. I did a workout with the UFL. I kind of wanted to stay healthy, so I trained and I completed that. And then the first thing I did was, look to get onto a field because, the best, ability is availability. So I needed to show that I'm playing right now. So, reached out to Coach Back. It was good to hear from me. So he went ahead and brought me in.
Now, that's a relationship that is not unfamiliar to you. You and Coach Back have worked together before. You guys were together up in Spokane.
Correct. Yeah, me and Coach Back had a good time out in Spokane.
What do you like? I guess what's because I've talked to a number of guys. We had Jalen Marshall on the show a few weeks ago, and he'd obviously had a prior relationship. What's kind of cool, and what is your liking about Coach Back's system that he's a guy that you wanted to reunite with again in another location?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's pretty simple. Coach Back is a type of coach who gets the ball into his playmakers' hands, and I'm all for that. You feel me? Any chance I could get to show my talent, I'm all for it. So he just gives me a good opportunity to put shit together, put stuff together, and I'm just grateful for that.
Chatting with Devontae Sapp Lynch, running back for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. So you talked about being in a camp for the IFL. Which team were you trying out for, and what was that process like to try to maybe get into that mix with one of those outdoor teams?
Well, I didn't go to camp. I actually was training with a personal trainer at a UFC gym, so I didn't actually attend camp. But I did a workout with the UFL for pretty much all the teams. They recorded the workout and they sent it to each of the recruiting offices, and that's kind of how that went. I just really didn't want to risk an injury, so I kind of held out. It probably would have been good to start the season and then go do the workout and maybe come back, but you live and you learn. It was just a decision that I had to make.
So then how hard is it to kind of get ingrained or get up to speed with a new team that's already in season? Has that been a difficult process, or how difficult a process?
I mean, it's been actually pretty easy. All the guys here are pretty welcoming, so they welcome me with open arms. And I came in just, to play a role. I just wanted to come in and be able to help the team in any way that I could. So, they got me involved on special teams and a little bit into the offense. So week by week, we trying to get it together, and maybe, hopefully I could become a valuable piece to help this team get rolling on the right track.
Now you're in the backfield that's got the legend Mike Jones. Have you had a chance to play with Mike in the past, or what have been your thoughts on him having a chance to be his teammate so far this season?
No, it's actually funny because when I first got here, I told Mike because we came in the same year back in 2019, and we've always been competing for rushing touchdowns, rushing yards. Like, we've always been competing, and we kind of knew each other throughout the league. But I told him once, I think I was playing in San Diego, and I was like, boy, one day we're going to play together. And then sure enough, here we are. No, it's good, though. Just the dynamic of me and him together, I'm excited to see what it's going to look like when we both get it rolling on the field at the same time.
Right. Chatting with Devontae Sapp Lynch, running back for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. The fellas are back home this Saturday night against Duke City. Your story, obviously, you came up through the JC ranks, played over at New Mexico Highlands. We have a lot of kids here from Southern Arizona that go over to New Mexico Highlands. What was that program like playing over there?
Honestly, New Mexico Highlands was like that pipeline where just guys that maybe didn't have it all together with the grades or didn't have the size or the strength, but they've been having great athletes for a while now, and it was a good pipeline. I had coaches and family members that went through that route, so it was easy for me to fall into place over there, given the fact that that was one of the offers I had coming out of college. So it was an easy decision. I kind of like New Mexico too. Las Vegas, it was cool out there.
Now, if I understand the story correctly, you lived with your brother in Buffalo during his rookie season. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So you were in high school?
Yeah.
So what was that like being a high school football player and your brother's in his rookie year in the NFL?
Honestly, it was a good experience, because at that same time my brother was still developing and growing into a young man. So, it kind of put me in a position to grow up a little bit earlier, or at least see how things can be when you got a little more responsibility on your plate. So I learned a lot, if anything, and it was just it was a good experience to see all of the firsthand experience with getting drafted into the league, and then seeing how to maneuver throughout it. It was a great experience for me.
So would you go to all the home games there at the stadium there?
Yeah, I used to go up there to Orchard Park.
Orchard Park.
He used to get mad at me. I used to fall asleep in the box office, so he started putting us outside. Man,
how'd you like that cold up there?
Nah, Buffalo is different. That's a different type of cold. And the only thing similar to it that I seen was Nebraska when I first came into the indoor league, but even that didn't have nothing on Buffalo.
Devontae Sapp Lynch, pleased to be joined by the running back for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. What's the best advice about this game that your brother's given you?
Honestly, that's a very hard question to answer, sir. My brother's been giving me games since I've been 7 years old about football. But, I guess the best advice is, one time he told me if I want to go and score 4 touchdowns and run for 150 yards, then who's to say I can't do that? Anything that I want to do, I make that decision. It's up to me. So that was probably one of the things, because it gave me the type of confidence going into every game that I could, do whatever I want to do.
Is it just the two of you? Are there any other brothers that are playing the game?
No, my sister, she was a hooper. My oldest brother, he played basketball. So, me and bros, my uncle played 11 years in the NFL. So, the football has been in the blood. But as far as my mom's children, it's just me and him.
And who is your uncle again?
Lorenzo Lynch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played with the Cardinals, the Bears, and the Raiders.
Nice.
Y'all go check him out. He kicked his way. He was one of the first ones that had to, come through that free agency pool.
Lorenzo Lynch, outstanding. So what do you want to do? What do you think your plans are? What do you want to do after football? Have you kind of navigated and figured that out? What's next?
I definitely want to stay around the game. I mean, you know, I might get involved with some type of coaching, maybe some type of training, some things of that nature.
And so far since you've been here, what do you think of the crowds here that you've played in front of at the Tucson Arena? How things been down there for you guys?
I really love the support that they have out here. I didn't know it was the community was this involved out here, so I really appreciate that. And you know, I was just actually telling one of my teammates, like, when we were playing in NAS, we go stretch lines. I look up, it's a whole little group of Sugar Skulls jerseys. I'm like, oh, supporters. I was like, okay, that gave me a little bit of a good feeling. So, you know, I definitely appreciate the support that the community has for the team.
Well, 3 of the next 4 games will be at home, so a chance maybe for this team to stack some W's together, get back in this race. Duke City next week, then a road game to Bay Area, and then 2 home games against Frisco and San Diego coming up. Still some time to kind of right the ship. Is that the mentality that you guys have, that you still have an opportunity to get where you want to be?
Absolutely. You know, we go into each day planning to get at least 1% better. You know, that's the goal. And as long as we come together and play as a unit, I think we really compete with the best teams in this league. So it's just gonna take, you know, some winning just to change the culture around here, and I think we can stack them wins if we take them one at a time.
Who was your favorite player you loved to watch growing up?
Oh, I'm for sure a Barry Sanders fanatic.
Barry Sanders, there you go. That was you can't go wrong with him. Shifty as heck, for sure. Hey, Devontae, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Best of luck this weekend as you guys take on Duke City down at the arena.
All right, now, I appreciate you guys, and y'all go ahead and have a good day.
All right. Devontae Sapp Lynch, running back for the Tucson Sugar Skulls. 6:05 kickoff this Saturday at Tucson Arena against the Duke City Gladiators. So let's see if the guys can get back in it again. There's still time. But you got to start winning some games. That would have been nice to kind of be able to get a little bit of a winning streak going coming off that last home game in which the Sugar Skulls won 51-50 in a tight one. But another tough loss on the road against Northern Arizona. I mean, Northern Arizona, man, that team, they are a newer team than the Sugar Skulls, but they have just really put that outfit together pretty quickly up there and become one of the better teams in the league. Right now in the Western Conference, the Bay Area is 8-1. Vegas is 7-1. Northern Arizona is 6-3. San Diego and Arizona are 5-4. San Antonio is 4-5. Tucson is 2-6. Duke City is 0-8. So you've got a chance to get right against a winless Duke City team coming in here this Saturday. DK on the Sports Tip. We've got much more coming up for you in the 5 o'clock hour. If you want to chat, 520-848-1290 is the number to do so. Crickets got some tickets coming up for you as well in the next hour. So don't miss out on that. She's also taking you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported, Ruthroff and LaChoya. LaChoya and Ruthroff, also Swan near Fort Lowell on Swan to the north of Fort Lowell. We're going to see road work continue on Grant Road east of Country Club. 68 the low, 102 and sunny tomorrow, and 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help you troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Permanent family. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org. Well, we're back in Oklahoma City. Alabama has challenged the call at the plate. I think it's pretty clear that Callie Hevelin was out. The only question I think would be, was she obstructed? And the umpires were about to get the call.
Ruling on the field of out of the play is confirmed.
So it is confirmed. Hevelin is out at the plate. The inning is over. Alabama gets one run to tie the game. Let's talk about this play for just a second, Destiny. Clearly, Hevelin was out.
More at davethomasfoundation.org.
Well, we're back at
the feeling you get when gas prices go up again. Lose that feeling forever, because O'Reilly Chevrolet lets you say goodbye to gas stations and hello to savings with their state-of-the-art Blazer EVs. If you're looking for a vehicle with zero emissions and a dealership with zero hassle, look no further than O'Reilly.com. Call 747-8000 or test drive one today on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Charge into the future at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit novahomeloans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Hey guys, what are you... Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for... Uh-huh. Right. You don't say. Uh-huh. Now. Hold it. What's with all the nows? People want to know the best time for an Alaska vacation. And you're telling them... Hello? Now. Well, there's no bad time for Alaska vacation, but the best time is now. Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC. Now is really the best time. You're not telling people about all the money they save? Now. Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer? Now. Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down? Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now. The best time for an Alaska vacation is... now. Schedule at AlaskanAC.com. Now.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Final hour of the program on this Thursday here in Tucson. Getting excited for baseball tomorrow. Arizona baseball. Wildcats, Grand Canyon. It's not been an easy go. The last 2 years against the Lopes. 3-3. 3-3 in the last 6 games against that team. Wildcats won 2 of 3 in the series last year. Antelopes won 2 of 3 in the series this year. So, again, it's been a very, very competitive square-off between those two teams. And I've said before, I like our teams playing Grand Canyon. I think it's good for sports here in the state of Arizona. They're a burgeoning program in Division I. I'd like to see more basketball games against Grand Canyon. I'd like to see Arizona basketball go play at Grand Canyon in whatever they call that Purple Madness up there. I'd love it. I'd love to see Tommy Lloyd take his team up into that and play. That would be really cool. We've seen Grand Canyon come down here a couple of times, but we've not seen Arizona go there. I think Arizona State has played there in the Purple Madness once maybe, and I think they're playing again this year. In fact, they just announced, but that's going to be a neutral site game, the Colangelo Classic, which the Wildcats participated in last year. It was Arizona, Arizona State, all of the 4 teams playing against other opponents, the men's and women's teams from both schools. But this year it's going to be Grand Canyon and Arizona State. Both the men's and the women's programs are going to play at the Footprint Center. But, yeah, I'd love to see Arizona men's basketball potentially go into the Purple Madness and play a game at some point. Get that rivalry going. It can only be great to have a rivalry between 2 teams in the same state. And now they're moving up. In case you missed all that, that was actually when we were on vacation. It was announced that they were going to be moving up to the West Coast Conference. They could in a few years. You never know. It'd be very interesting. Now, granted, we just talked about Arizona State the other day, Arizona State basketball, yesterday, as a matter of fact. They have got the number 2 recruiting class right now in the Big 12. Could they potentially could GCU potentially eventually get close to eclipsing Arizona State in basketball? That'd be very interesting. But, yeah, I think all 3 of those teams should be playing. Arizona State, U of A, Grand Canyon, it would be good to see. What do you think about that? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Our guy, Bill from 520 Sports Talk is on the line. Bill, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Talking about that ASU GCU series, I've covered, they played twice. The first game was at GCU, and if the Wildcat fans have never been to that arena, it is just maddening. I remember that when Louisville...
What do they call that, the student section there?
They call it the Havoc.
The Havoc, exactly. Thank you.
The Havoc, yeah. Best student section of the nation. Makes the Cameron Crazies and the Fog of Kansas look like minor league. These guys are nuts because they not only have half the arena. Now, their arena is about half the size of McHale. It holds about 7,000, 7,500. But half of the seats are dedicated to the Havocs. And so if you're not a student there or Havoc, it's a little harder to get a ticket because you're working with half an arena. But the band even gets involved with these craziness, and it's just deafening. I remember Rick Pitino coming in with his Louisville team, and they did beat GCU back when Dan Marley was the head coach, but he says that's the most difficult arena I've ever had to play in.
Wow.
So, yeah, just crazy, and obviously a very good coach saying that. Now, ASU played them the first time, and Remy Martin hit a buzzer beater to win by 2. And then last year they went over to Desert Financial, and GCU, I think, lost by 7. But that was kind of a different type of game. Actually, both teams didn't really pick up the action until the second half. The first half was pretty boring. But I think it's a good idea that I think Arizona needs to go up and actually experience that atmosphere, especially maybe in late January, February when they play ASU and they don't have that second game. Now, I'm not sure how the schedule is going to go with the Big 12, but I remember that in the Pac-12 they would play ASU and then usually they would schedule like a non-conference game for the second game of the week.
Right.
I think it would be a great idea for Coach Lloyd to schedule the Antelopes. They're no joke. I mean, and they're not going to be any joke in baseball either. The Batcats are going to have to really bring their A game.
Well, that's why they're calling this the region of death this weekend, because you got two really good programs coming in here, or three really good programs coming in here for sure. Bill, I know you cover the Sugar Skulls a lot. We just had Devontae Sapp Lynch on the show in last hour. What have you seen from the Sugar Skulls? Obviously, they're struggling this year. They had some quarterback injury issues early on. They're 2-6, which is kind of a tough hole to really get out of. They really needed to get that win this past Saturday night at Northern Arizona. But what are the possibilities for this team the rest of the season?
I'm not sure. The one thing that I often scratch my head on with that franchise is there's not really any continuity. If you look at the history and their brief history, they've had so many head coaches.
Yeah,
you know, they've got a.
I'm glad you said that, because that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, they just, you know, I mean, last year I didn't understand it. I mean, Coach Curtis Chin was the coach of the year and ended up leaving. Now, he didn't get fired. It was a personal reason type thing, but then he resurfaces over in Las Vegas and is the OC over there.
Yeah.
So just kind of, I don't know what the backstory is on that one, but I think that, I don't know, I'm wondering what it's going to take too. David Adams and I were talking about this several times. They don't win at home. And when you don't win at home, it's hard to draw fans. I mean, the Tucson Arena is small. It's 7,000 people. And they're lucky if they get 2,500, where I cover the Rattlers as well up in Glendale at Desert Diamond, where the Coyotes used to play. And they draw between 9,000 and 10,000 regularly. Now, their win-loss record's obviously better, but I'm not sure what it's going to take down here in Tucson to get the fans ignited to want to go see the Sugar Skulls. But I know the one thing is they got to start winning at home.
Yeah. Well, there's no question about that. Maybe it'll take the threat of them leaving, like the Roadrunners.
Yeah, like the Roadrunners. Yeah, exactly.
To get people.
And good news on that. At least the Roadrunners will play their partial season down here. That's good news.
Exactly. Yeah, and you, I think I appreciate you correcting. I think I had said Curtis Chin was with the team coming in Duke City, but he actually was with Vegas this year. So good to see him land on his feet. And much like it seems like many of the coaches that have come through have landed on their feet and done well. We just got to find some consistency. I think you hit it right there on the head. The Sugar Skulls have got to find some consistency. You cannot keep turning over coaches every few years. Hopefully they Billy Back will be the guy for the long term here, and he can get his program in. It may take a year, and this may be the year that it kind of takes a little bit of a downside to get everything in place to where you can win in the future, but you can't keep turning over coaches if you expect to win at a high level in any league, and particularly in the IFL.
Yeah, because Dixie's tearing it up in the Bay Area right now, and so it's kind of weird. But don't sleep on those Naz guys. Those guys are tough. I saw them beat the Rattlers in Glendale, so I know that the Sugar Skulls really needed that win. But that's a tough out. The boys from Prescott.
Yeah, well, again, that's a program that came in after the Sugar Skulls and has surpassed them already.
Yeah, played in the IFL championship game.
Exactly. So, I mean, again, you gotta look at they've had some consistency up there, and they've been able to build that program relatively quickly, and that's the key. You gotta find the right people, and it just doesn't seem like Kathy Guy and company have found the folks that they're going to be able to depend on, or that they can trust their franchise in the hands of. Hopefully they do that here in the near future. Bill, always appreciate you. Thank you so much for that information today.
Yeah, real quick, I've got a show tonight at our new venue, the Tucson Racket Club.
Oh.
And we are going to have the 3A softball state championship Empire Ravens on the show.
That's awesome, man. Shannon Woodridge did a great job with that. We were talking about them a couple of weeks ago about how it seemed like they've had teams the last few years capable of winning the 3A title, but Sabino was always in their way. And then this year, Sabino got knocked out early, and Empire was able to get to the finals and win it all, even though they were only a 7 seed. They were probably seeded way too low because that is a really good program that they have out there.
That's right. And then Cindy will be back at Sabino, from what I've heard, next year. So they're going to probably go back up and obviously contend for titles as well.
There you go. Bill McCullough from 520 Sports Talk. Check him out all over Facebook. His show's on Facebook at 520 Sports Talk. Doing a great job over there as always. Bill, we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, brother. Thanks.
Bill McCullough, 520 Sports Talk. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program today. 520-848-1290. Coming up a little bit later for you. We're going to talk to Jensen Lewis here in this hour. We'll talk some baseball with Jensen. He pitched in the big leagues with my Cleveland Indians. Currently is a member of the team's television broadcast, pre and post, for Bally Sports Great Lakes. So we'll get his thoughts on this regional and what he saw. They were out at all the practices today over at High Corbett Field. We unfortunately could not get over there for the U of A press conference today. We were kind of monitoring our coverage of the Women's College World Series. Game number 3 is in progress right now. So I believe we actually, they started on time with the night session. So we should be on point as long as there's no more delays, hopefully for a 6:30 start time tonight for game number 4, Oklahoma State and Florida.
Speaking of delays, what's the longest you ever spent at an airport?
Oh, wow.
Paige is still
in Tucson
at the airport. Yeah,
that flight was supposed to leave at 6:45 this morning.
Briefly, I'll tell the story. The 6:45 was the original departure. We got up at 3. The flight had been delayed, so we got up again at 8. Took her down there. I'm sorry, got up at 6. Took her down there for an 8:45 flight, and apparently, just the weather is they've been in a holding pattern this whole time. So she's spent almost 12 hours at the airport today.
She probably could have driven to Fayetteville by now.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Rent a car, something like that. Anyway,
that's a good question. I don't know the longest I've ever. I'm not remembering any really, really long airport deals for me. Yeah.
Shout out to anybody listening who's gone through something like that or is currently.
Right.
So,
right.
We feel it. We understand. I mean, I've definitely been through. I don't know that. I think I've spent maybe half an hour, 45 minutes on the tarmac before they had to go back, type of thing. She said they spent 2 hours because they were just waiting for the weather to clear, just waiting for the right report to come in. Really bad weather out there, apparently. So it's not just softball that's getting games delayed. It's also flights all around the country.
Yeah. Well, travel safe if you're out there doing so, and be patient with all of the folks out there in the travel industry that are doing their best and working their hardest to make sure that they get you to where you need to be in as timely a fashion as possible. So just remember that they are out there doing all that they can for you. All right. Before we get to break, let's do a real quick Diamondbacks download. Can we do that?
We can do that.
Yeah, let's do that since they're playing right now.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff!
All right, Diamondbacks, after losing 2 games in Texas to the Rangers in the World Series rematch, are now on to the Mets. And that game is right now in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Arizona is on top by a score of 2-1. Ketel Marte has a 2-run double. Francisco Lindor has hit a home run for the Mets. The Mets are a mess. Well, they're 11 games under 500, which might as well be 30 in New York City. Because
what's up with that? What's up with that incident last night?
Yeah, Pablo
Tell me about
Lopez apparently
glove,
got
right?
ejected. He got ejected and threw his glove into the stands. He was designated for assignment today. But apparently there's some things going on. He's got a son, an infant son, I believe, or a toddler son who's really sick.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely some things that are going on behind the scenes with him that may have contributed to his anger. And so, again, you never know what people are dealing with.
Sure.
In any given situation, it's unfortunate. The Mets, though, took the road that they felt they needed to take after that incident, and he'll no longer be with that team. But I hope that he gets things together. We hope the best for his son and the illness that his son is suffering. We saw a very unfortunate tragedy over the weekend in the golf game where a player, Grayson Murray, pulled out of the Colonial on Friday and then went home and committed suicide. So, I mean, and we heard the young lady on the golf tour retiring at the age of 29, just talking about how, the road can be a lonely place. And we have to remember that, these folks are out there and they're competing and they're playing a game, and it's a lot of people don't necessarily view sports as being hard work, but it can be mentally taxing. And we have to keep that in mind when we're talking about our athletes.
Yeah, and I mean, depending on what demographic you are, like clearly the modern landscape of social media is such that you're a target when you become a public figure. So, we always talk about, like, what would it be like for, Joe DiMaggio to live in the social media era, or any of those famous partying type guys from the 60s and 70s. Well, you hear a lot of these stories about athletes retiring early or athletes dealing with, there's a lot of pressures coming from all angles. And I'll tell you, I don't know about the designating for assignment, but one reason Met fans are a little bit upset, DK, $305 million is their payroll. Number one this year. Number one payroll in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So that record they've got with the number one payroll, reason to be a little upset there. The mediocrity.
Yeah. All right, Cricket's getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions clearing Ruth Ruff and La Cholla, also Swan north of Fort Lowell. We've got roadwork bridge construction work on Avra Valley Road west of I-10 over the Santa Cruz River through mid-July. 68 the low, 102 sunny tomorrow, and 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Hey guys, what are you... Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now. Thank you for... Right. You don't say. Now.
Hold it. What's with all the nows?
People want to know the best time for an elastification.
And you're telling them...
Hello? Now.
Well, there's no bad time for elastification, but the best time is now.
Pretty soon, Arizona temps are going to put a strain on your AC. Now is really the best time.
You're not telling people about all the money they save?
Now.
Or how Alaskan AC will make their AC last longer?
Now.
Or the big 1-year guarantee that their AC will not break down?
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Well, Ron wants to tell you a bunch of stuff. I know. That's kind of what I told him. Okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, now.
The best time for elastification is...
now.
Schedule at AlaskanAC.com. Now.
Introducing Tanzite Stone Tile Flooring, a game changer in the tile industry. Say goodbye to the trade-off between durability and easy installation with Tanzite's revolutionary indoor-outdoor stone tile. Visit Tanzite.com to see how our tile is installed without concrete or mortar. Instead, our innovative rubber gasket system connects the tiles together. Each tile coming pre-assembled, you simply grab one and place it. No expertise needed. At Tanzite.com, you can see how our foam-back tiles contour to cover any existing floor while insulating against sound and cold. Beautiful and versatile. Tanzite tile adapts to indoor or outdoor use, from kitchens to patios, on concrete basements or wooden decks. All with the durability of stone that's guaranteed for life. Witness this innovative product yourself and order a sample today at Tanzite.com. That's TANZITE.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ORDER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 42424. That's ORDER to 42424.
Okay, kids, we're home. Everybody out. Ew, my feet are stuck. In what, honey? On the floor. Ew, take off your shoes. Tommy, come carry your sister into the house.
What do you do when the car you use the most has the least amount of time to get clean? Let Recon Auto Detailing, Arizona's premier auto detailing company, come to you and turn your busiest car back into your best. From basic cleaning to a full detail, Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
So hot. I can help you.
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on, don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Kohl's. This season, find everyday style at great prices at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Today, we salute the Connecticut Sun, who are the only undefeated team remaining in the WNBA. On Tuesday, they blew out the Phoenix Mercury at home to improve to 6-0 on the season, which is their best start in franchise history. Two of the Sun's brightest stars are Alyssa Thomas and Dewana Bonner. The two leading scorers are teammates on the floor and engaged to be married. Connecticut's head coach is former college basketball star Stephanie White.
We've got a veteran group. We have, some of the toughest competitors that I've ever been around. So, certainly the opportunity that we've had to come away with some hard-fought wins. But for us, it's about continuing to make positive progress to being the best that we can be when it comes time for September and October.
The Connecticut Sun are back in action tomorrow night at home against the Dallas Wings. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Erica Herskowitz on Westwood One.
Okay, real talk. If you want to set yourself up for a great summer, you need to get to Kohl's this weekend. I just shopped the Red Hot Buys, and the prices were so good, I feel like I'm already on vacation. I found myself cute dresses for 30% off, swimwear for my kids starting at $14.99, and adorable finds from Carter's for 60% off. Plus, I saved up to 85% off clearance after an extra 50% off. So if you want a head start on your summer prep, then head to Kohl's now. Select styles, extra 50% off clearance valid through June 6th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save, because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
At T-Mobile, you can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, switch and keep your phone. We'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit, service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. NCAA baseball begins here in Tucson on a Friday. Game number 1 will be Dallas Baptist against West Virginia, and then the Wildcats in the nightcap against Grand Canyon for the 4th time. Let's talk some Tucson Regional Baseball with a guy I'm a little bit familiar with, Jensen Lewis. He's going to be the analyst on the games this weekend for ESPN. He is a analyst pregame and postgame shows for Bally Sports Great Lakes, covering my tribe, as I like to still say. Jensen Lewis. Jensen, welcome to Tucson.
Hey, DK, great to be with you. And got to say, at 5 a.m. this morning when I left Cleveland at about 55 degrees to land and get the old 100-degree temp back, buddy. The old welcome to the heat. So it's good to be back.
There you go. There you go. So did you do regional games last year, Jensen? I know you've kind of branched out the last few years and started doing a little bit more outside of just your work with the Guardians. Were you able to work games last year, or is this your first time doing postseason?
Yeah, this will be my first time doing postseason alongside Mike Farron, who does a great job here, especially for ACC and SEC, and awesome to have this one be the one that we get, because I think DK, looking at it and seeing where the field really fell when they started announcing the bracket on Monday, I know we all kind of internally looked at it and said, damn, that Tucson Regional, I mean, to have Dallas Baptist as one of those teams that you thought could possibly be a host, West Virginia, had they not had all the injury issues that they've dealt with here in the last month, they could have continued their winning ways, and perhaps, as Randy Mazey advocated for, said, hey, we're capable of hosting a regional if we stay healthy. And then Grand Canyon's the toughest number 4 seed in the bracket, and they get to kind of stay home in a way and drive just to, an hour and a half, 2 hours south of Tucson, and take on an Arizona team that they handled during the regular season. So it is going to be highly competitive, and I am just excited to see it get going here tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. I mean, this is a lot of people, as you mentioned, are calling this one of the toughest regionals out there in this field of 64. Obviously, the Wildcats, champions of the Pac-12 Conference, and both undisputed, as I like to say, both the regular season and the postseason. Jensen's extensive background in college baseball as well, played at the very powerful Vanderbilt program that we saw in the World Series a few years ago, did the Wildcats. Let's talk a bit about your career, Jensen, just kind of college baseball for you. What was fun about, you were kind of in that Vanderbilt program when they were really starting to get going and starting to build it, and what it took to kind of, to be a program that could consistently get to the postseason every single year.
Yeah, DK, my freshman year was Tim Corbin's first year, and as we kind of like to call ourselves that year, we were the Junction Boys, having to build that thing from the ground up. And, we barely had enough guys to field a team. I think we had 26 guys total and 8 pitchers on that team. So If you think about the powerhouse programs in the SEC, we were severely undermanned that year. But that year was the catalyst in launching what is now kind of the Alabama of college football, if you will, on the college baseball side. And of course, what Tim has built there, 18 consecutive postseason appearances heading into the Clemson Regional for this season. And all the different draft picks, myself and Jeremy Sowers, the first real guys to come out of there in those first couple of Corbin years with the Cleveland Indians. And it felt like they had a number 1 pick every year, or at least every other year, from that point forward. So it's been a preeminent program. As we know, the SEC can continue to grow after this year, and with conference expansion, the ACC as well. And, anxious to see what Arizona does now and joining a big conference in the Big 12. And honestly, I think this is maybe a point in college baseball, DK, where I know Kyle Peterson has talked about, a lot of people in the industry, a chance to grow the game. And to be able to have fans be able to have access to see it more, because this is as loaded a bracket, even with some of the teams that have been left out. I think this is as competitive a 64-team bracket as we've seen put together. So many good teams, so many different regions that could be up for grabs. And there's really no powerhouse like there was last year with LSU and Wake Forest. So a lot of parity here this year. And opportunities for maybe some Cinderellas there in Omaha.
Well, and it's interesting because you talk about that parity. I mean, we were just talking about that the other day when you think about, Mississippi State was a team that thought that they might be hosting, and now they're in that regional with Virginia. That's going to be a dogfight there. The one that's across from us, LSU, and Jay Johnson at North Carolina. Those are 2 really, really good teams. So you're absolutely right in terms of some of these these regionals and the way that they put it together, and really the length that you could see from anybody coming out of any of these 16 sites, for sure. 18. You mentioned Tim Corbin. 18. It's 18 years in a row that they've been to the postseason. Is that what I heard you say?
Yep, 18 years, and again to do it in the SEC and knowing really the gauntlet you have to run every single weekend with the teams that are there. I mean, think about it, DK. Of the top 8 national seeds, you have Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Georgia. So you have 5 of the top 8 that are from the SEC just right there. So, again, take it from someone who knows quite well. It is as competitive and as deep a league week in and week out. And to see what Tim has been able to put together and continue recruiting at the level that he does to get guys to come in, even with the advent here of NIL and the transfer portal and on all fronts, I think it's a testament to kids really wanting to buy in and be part of that Vandy echelon.
Jensen Lewis, ESPN baseball analyst, is our guest. He'll be on the call of the regional here in Tucson this weekend. You mentioned the transfer portal, Jensen, and obviously, two of the primary starters for the Arizona Wildcats are guys that came out of the portal. Cam Welty from Nevada. We had mentioned that he carved up Arizona 2 years ago in a 4-game series here. Held him to 3 hits and a complete game shutout. And Clark Candiotti, who comes over from Wichita State. I asked Chip Hale this the other day, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Do you think we're going to begin to see, and granted, you want to sign kids, high school kids, and develop them, but do you think we're going to begin to start to see coaches leaning more on veteran starting pitchers in the transfer portal to maybe dominate their rotations because it's more experienced guys? Or do you think once we get out of this COVID 5-year era that we might begin to see more younger guys, at the front of rotations?
Yeah, DK, I think you took that thought and literally spoke it into existence, because I think just in Arizona's case, this coming off season and maybe even as of, right now, starting to really assess what that transfer portal may look like, not only for guys that could be departing. I mean, you're going to have a priority in trying to keep a couple of these kids from wanting to leave anyway on not only the pitcher front, but the position player front. And I think they definitely go look for some veteran guys to bring back in for that weekend rotation. Interestingly enough, having the chance to talk with Clark Candiotti this afternoon as he'll get to start tomorrow for that game 2 of the regional and the first one for Arizona against Grand Canyon. He kind of alluded to the fact that the ability to have that pitching lab that's under construction now and starting to be built here is a real difference maker and could be one that really elevates the recruiting angle for Arizona, and just really the quick turnaround of what this pitching staff as a whole has looked like. I mean, DK, you kind of look at where they compare from a national rank, 19th in ERA, a total of 4.33. I mean, that's insane in college baseball, right? To have under basically a 4.5, let alone where they are in a conference for its final year with the Pac-12. Their field independent pitching is number 1 nationally. It is number 1, obviously, in this field of 64. And then I think another one that stands out is the strike percentage and the walk percentage, both best in the nation. These guys fill it up. Their first pitch strike percentage is second in the nation. I think you're seeing the ability for the Wake Forest model, and even more so to Vandy. We kind of had that pitching laboratory start, and then Wake really took a boatload of money and poured a ton into it. Imitation being the sincerest form of flattery, DK, as you know. Now you see the copycat happening with a lot of different programs, not only on the East Coast, but I think the West Coast schools now, in an effort with the NIL era, with the transfer portal era, really dawning now and seeing where kids really value their college experience. Is it draft and develop scenarios where you've got guys that know, the TrackMan, the Rapsodo, the ability with the Edgertron to be able to get in there and really kind of go with a scalpel to mechanics, both on the pitching and position player side, to help elevate your game? I think you're going to see an arms race in that standpoint as we move forward. But yeah, to answer your question, I think Arizona, amongst the host of schools in this tournament, are turning to that transfer portal for veteran reinforcements coming in next year.
Real quick, Jensen, we saw Travis Bazzana here a few weeks ago, and in the Pac-12 tournament, we get J.J. Weatherholt from West Virginia. Is he as good a player, you think?
Oh, my gosh. DK, he is as good a player, might even be a better kid. I had a chance to talk at the press conference. He's back in a big way. Randy Mazie said, basically as he goes, that's how we'll go. And with how banged up they are with the pitching, especially in their bullpen, they're going to need some heroic efforts from Derek Clark, who will get the start tomorrow afternoon against DBU. But, yeah, he is must-see TV. He'll be leading off. Excited to watch him in person for the first time.
Hey, Jensen, looking forward to seeing you out at the ballpark this weekend. Have great calls. Always great to talk to you, and keep doing great work with our tribe back home.
You got it, DK. Thanks so much for having me.
Jensen Lewis, ESPN baseball analyst. He and I mentioned Mike Farron will be on the call. Mike Farron, who for a number of years did the play-by-play, was the backup to the great Greg Schulte up the street with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Mike Farron was on the pregame and also did a lot of the road games as Greg was dialing back of his schedule, which obviously led to his retirement at the end of next year, or actually at the end of last year, I should say, after the World Series run. Great to see Mike back in a prominent role doing games with ESPN in the postseason. Cricket is back with us now, and
yes, sir.
Cricket's got tickets. What is going on? We haven't had tickets in a while.
It has been a while.
Yes.
We've got a summer safari nights back on Saturday nights at Reed Park Zoo. So each week there's going to feature keeper chats. There'll be animal encounters, artifact stations, giraffe feedings, which is really cool, carousel rides, crafts, and games. And there'll be a different theme each week. So every visit, every Saturday night for Summer Safari Nights will bring you a little something new. So right now you could score 2 tickets to enjoy Summer Safari Nights. Caller 1. Excuse me.
Everybody's losing their voice today. What's going on?
I think it's allergies.
Is something in the air?
I think it is.
Yeah.
A little breezy. Caller 1 at 520-848-1290. Caller 1, 520-848-1290. And good luck.
All right. Summer Safari Nights coming up. It's every Saturday night. It's from 6 to 8. In case you missed or don't know anything about this, head on over to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com, or any of our station websites. Our annual show, you can also find it on Spotify, our weekly show, Tucson in Review. We had a chance to talk to from the zoo. What was that young lady's name? I forgot what her name was. Barbara Carr, I believe it was her name, and she told us all about Summer Safari Nights. And so head on over right now, Tucson in Review, and check that from our show this past Sunday. All right, Cricket getting us home now every 20 minutes on the 5.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Expect road work on Grant Road east of Country Club with some construction restrictions in place and collisions that are clearing. Star Pass at I-10 and also Broadway and Wilmot. Some busy travel on southbound Swan near Fort Lowell. 68 the low, 102, sunny tomorrow, and 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. Play for fun and play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. And 6-1, visit staples.com/print for details.
You want to protect her. You'll give anything to make sure nothing harms her. Every minute together makes unforgettable memories. Except that time you parked her under that tree and...
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Sorry, we'll never speak of it again. But remember who came to her rescue? Recon Auto Detailing. Arizona's premier auto detailing company comes directly to you. We'll make your masterpiece shine like it should, and with a monthly maintenance package, we'll keep it that way. Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Get to Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale and get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 and get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses, all with free and fast delivery. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You are paying too much for gas because you're paying for gas. Why pay for gas when you could pay for a new Blazer EV at O'Reilly Chevrolet and save $7,500 right off the top? That's just where the savings start. So use your electronic phone and go to O'Reilly.com and see them all in person on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or call 747-8000. Trade up and trade in and put gas in your rearview mirror. See us today at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with the free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 2 tickets to Summer Safari Nights are going to Scott. Scott, congratulations.
Right on.
Have you ever been to Summer
Thank
Safari
you.
Nights?
I'm excited. I've never been.
All right. Well, who are you taking with you?
My girlfriend Paula.
Outstanding. That sounds like a fun date night.
Yeah, she loves baseball too.
Oh, there you go. Well, maybe you go to Summer Safari Nights from 6 to 7, and then hop over to High Corbett Field for the ball game at 7.
Or you could follow the game on the radio on the date, but she probably wouldn't like that too
She
much.
probably wouldn't like that, no.
Nah. She likes the animals. She'd give them all their time, and then we'd go to the game separately.
There you go. There you go. Outstanding. Well, we appreciate
thank you, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Scott, for calling in and listening. And again, 2 tickets to Summer Safari Nights. It is Saturdays, every Saturday through the end of August, from 6 to 8 at the Reed Park Zoo. Who do you got? Who do you got? Are you an NBA fan, Scott?
Yes.
Who do you got? Who do you got of the teams remaining? Who do you think's going to win it?
Celtics.
Celtics. All right. Yeah. I have a hard time disagreeing with that, even though I'd like to.
Yeah. It just seems like everything's in place for them.
Yeah. It's hard for me to root for Dallas because I'm not a real big Kyrie Irving fan, and it's like two teams that I just don't really like rooting for. Period. But I think you're right.
Yeah, I just didn't think that. I never thought that Kyrie and Luka would do what they've done this year together. It seemed like whoever's been in Dallas with Luka before or wherever Kyrie's gone, it seems to never work out. This is actually the best I think either of them have done with another star of the same caliber.
He's growing up, I think. Kyrie's kind of growing up and figuring it out, which is good for the league, and it's good for him because he is one heck of a player when he's got his head screwed on correctly.
Well, let's hope it stays that way, and it's an exciting series. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I think Celtics will win.
There you go. Scott, have fun at Summer Safari on Saturday night.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Scott will be headed out there. If you did not win tickets, maybe we'll have tickets for you next week. But you can also buy tickets. The tickets to Summer Safari are free for Zoo members, $10.50 for adults, $8.50 for seniors, 62 and up. Getting close to that. Getting close to my senior discount there, Trade.
Any day now.
Not real close, but closer. $6.50 for children ages 2 to 14, and children under 2 get in free. I want to update you on women's college softball. The World Series getting underway today. Game number 3 is in the 6th inning right now. Texas is leading Stanford 2-0. The Longhorns right now, they are the number 1 seed, and they are pitching a one-hitter against the Stanford Cardinal. Earlier today, UCLA beat Alabama 4-1. And Oklahoma knocked off Duke 9-1. So Oklahoma and UCLA are in the winner's bracket. Texas, if they can hold on, will be in the winner's bracket. And the final game of the evening is Oklahoma State and Florida. That game is scheduled to start at 6:30 Tucson time, and you will hear it right here on Wildcats Radio 1290, our coverage of the Women's College World Series. Now, we're only covering today's games. We're not going to carry... Obviously, the tomorrow's losers bracket games, we won't carry those because they're in the evening conflict with U of A baseball. We won't carry into the game Saturday and Sunday, unfortunately, due to our U of A baseball commitments and not wanting to try to mess with what could be a jumbled schedule depending on what happens with the games tomorrow on the baseball side.
I haven't been outside in a minute, but the chances of a rain delay
here
at this bracket probably pretty slim.
No, very slim, very slim. But we will have the games on Monday, provided that there's not a lot of craziness with baseball on Monday. Let's just hope. We don't want to be playing baseball on Monday. We just want to get this done on Sunday and not have to worry about baseball on Monday. All right, let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, in case you missed it, in between the two softball games today, we brought you the press conference from High Corbett Field for your Arizona Wildcats baseball team. Let's hear from the head coach, Chip Hale, who talked about Cam Walty and getting him from Nevada after he carved up U of A during that 2022 season.
Yes, no doubt. I mean, he cut through a really good lineup. That was a heck of a lineup that he cut through and made us. I think we played 4 games and we won 3, and he was the one who beat us. So they had a couple guys that were very impressive, but he was definitely the guy when the portal opened and he was there. We were excited to have a chance to have him. He's done nothing but do that for us. He's pitched when he was not feeling 100% last year at times, and this year I think that's one of the keys. He's been healthy. He's a strike thrower, and he's pitched our biggest games of the year.
Coach, if you could just provide any sort of injury updates, as who do you anticipate is going to be available that has been out or limited?
I mean, we're going to decide that after this press conference. We're going to sit as a staff and figure out. But Emilio Corona has obviously been working hard to get back and, in the lineup to start. He's close, and TJ Adams, same way. They're both on the fence, whether we carry both of them on the roster or add another pitcher, because we have 27 for this tournament. So that's about as deep as I'll go into it.
Chip, you announced that Clark Candiotti will be starting the opener. What was the basis of that decision, and what are we looking at for kind of the rest of the regional?
Yeah, Clark's going to start tomorrow, and then Cam on Saturday, and Jackson Ken will go Sunday. I think why is because at this point in the season, at any level you're playing, you're going to go with your hot hand, whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense, matchups, all those things are important. But Clark has been the guy who's been the hottest. He and Cam both have pitched really well on the weekends for us, and Jackson has not had his best stuff the last 3 or 4 weeks, and we're hoping the extra time and work with Kevin and John in the bullpen sessions will help him to be better on Sunday, maybe the extra rest.
Chip, you've talked about Grand Canyon a little bit earlier in the week, but just the overall familiarity that both of you guys have with each other. Does some gamesmanship have to happen where you have to maybe try to do things differently, like both sides? Or do you just play the team that you are and just hope that it works out best?
Well, I think you just have to play to your strengths. They're going to play to their strengths. Execute, we can't give them extra outs. We know how good they are. They're very tough with 2 strikes. They're going to put the ball in play. We're going to have to make all the routine plays. I think the teams that win at this point are the ones that do. They execute. They don't give the other team extra outs, and they just play within themselves. We're not asking anybody to do anything they can't do.
GCU is going to be starting a left-handed pitcher, and lefties has been a struggle for a good part of the year, maybe particularly the crafty lefties, so to speak. But what kind of adjustments and preparations do you have to do to handle preparing for a left-handed pitcher?
Yeah, I think that Toby, and he'll look at the scouting report. We'll get the best approach for these guys and go at it. It's what I talked about earlier. It's execution. If he executes his pitches where he wants all the time, we'll battle our tail off. But good hitters hit mistakes, and when he makes a mistake, we have to be ready to hit it.
What do you remember most about Coach Kendall when the postseason came? What was he like? Was he different than before the earlier games? What do you remember most about him?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and I've tried to talk to our team about it, he had a very calming effect on us. Whenever he could, he would just really preach to us about just doing what we could do and not trying to do too much. I think that was the biggest thing about whether any level you're playing at is guys get so keyed up and so anxiety ridden that they try to do more than they can do. So he was really good about calming the team down. A great story was we were in Austin playing at the University of Texas, and after the national anthem, they would play The Eyes of Texas, and the fans would sing it, and it was very intimidating. And we had never seen it. So he told us before the anthem, he's like, hey, when the anthem's over, you guys need to come in the clubhouse. There was a clubhouse on that side. I need to talk to you for a second. So we went in, and he was just kind of going over the scouting report of everything. And so we came back out, and they were done. And everybody was kind of standing up and clapping. We had no idea what had gone on. And he had known that was going to happen, and he took us out of that environment so we didn't get sort of intimidated or too keyed up.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
And that is a great story indeed. Great coaching by Jerry Kendall back in the day. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to all of our guests, Nathan Bannister, Devontae Sapp-Lynch from the Sugar Skulls, Jensen Lewis, ESPN Baseball. For JW Madden and Cricket, my name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight. We'll talk to you from High Corbett Field tomorrow, 3 o'clock, for the NCAA Baseball Tournament, Arizona and GCU. Have a great night, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Crash at Harrison and Speedway Boulevard in Harrison. Also clearing Star Pass at I-10, Broadway near Wilmot. Glen west of Country Club roadwork and traffic on Glen west of Country Club is shifted to the north side of the roadway. 68 the low, 102 and sunny tomorrow, 98 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing: help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.
Hey guys, what are you...
Gotta take this. Thank you for calling Alaskan AC. Now.